and welcome to MCTV's Let's Talk. I'm Mike Stanzillis, the Vice President of Membership and Business Development for the Morris County Chamber of Commerce. And today we're talking with the Chamber's committee, which is the Entrepreneurs Roundtable. And we're very lucky to have with us the chairs of the Entrepreneur Roundtable, Eric Pearson. And Eric Pearson is the founder of Nomad Automotive Services, a new kind of car maintenance company. And he's been a member of the Chamber since 2016. We also have with us Cheryl Venecia, and Cheryl is a business broker with Murphy Business Sales in Madison, New Jersey, and has been a member since 2019. And then over there in the right-hand corner is Ed Ramirez, and Ed Ramirez is with the Morris County Economic Development Corporation. So we're very fortunate to have these three great brains with us today to talk about entrepreneurship here at the Morris County Chamber of Commerce. So Eric, let me start with you. What is the Entrepreneurs Roundtable?
So in short, the Entrepreneur Roundtable is really a support structure for the youngest stage of businesses within Morris County and in northern New Jersey. It is a safe, very candid peer support group. So the general structure is that the group comes together at the meetings, and people bring their challenges, and we discuss exactly which topics the membership is having struggles with. Mm-hmm. And then we collect those challenges and share the group's past experiences to help coach each other through it. So it's a little bit unique in that people are coming with their very warts and all business challenges, as opposed to the kind of perfect networking face that you frequently have to show when you're out supporting your business. So basically, we realize there's a gap in support for people who are just starting out. And the goal of the roundtable is to really fill that gap and help these newest businesses get off the ground in Morris County.
That's great. Warts and all, right? So Cheryl, speaking of, warts and all and these issues, what types of issues have you seen at the roundtable and you've been able to sort of guide people or share some best practices with?
We really talk about all issues that are common to all businesses as they're first starting out and trying to even grow and scale. So we talk about what to outsource and when to outsource, and when do you hire people and how do you hire them. We talked about cost management. We talked about setting goals and objectives for ourselves. Digital marketing, and building trust and reputation within your field. So, really it runs the gamut of all issues. And what we've done is, as a group, when we first started, we listed out all of the topics that we wanted to talk about. And we as a group decided which are the topics that were most relevant to us and prioritized them, and have just been systematically going through them during our monthly meetings. So it's a very collaborative effort to determine what is the structure going to be and what's the curriculum that we're going to follow.
Wow, it's amazing. You listed a lot of topics there, and we could spend an entire show on just each one of those topics. So let's just bite off, one or two of those right now. Ed, what do you think out of those topics really people are struggling with the most right now, and what are you doing over at the EDC to help them, get over those hurdles?
Well, Mike, one of the things that we realized is that the small business owner, and even now after COVID-19, a lot of people have been forced to change their work structure. Some have been let go from work, and they've had to jump into this entrepreneurship type business. They have to run their own business. They have to survive. So one of the things that the EDC is doing, and I'm grateful for the roundtable, is that we get business owners that are dealing with the same things we're dealing with. So they're able to answer those questions, life experience, how have they navigated through the process. And the EDC, we realize that small business is the backbone of our economy. So when we see these new entrepreneurs coming in, we basically want to help them, give them structure. We want to give them guidance. We want them to have a safe place. Mistakes that they might experience or even make themselves. For us to be there and say, that's okay, we've made those same mistakes. You're not in an island unto yourself. And we are here to help you to strengthen you and to help your business succeed. So I just love the roundtable because it's really the group that's there for the entrepreneur that's starting out, and even the entrepreneurs that are working but run into trouble from time to time.
So Eric, Ed mentioned, the entrepreneur that's starting out and running into trouble from time to time. So we are in troubled times right now. What are you seeing any trends? Is it really, is now the time to start a business, or is it not? You can look at that from a couple of different angles.
Sure. I think the interesting thing we've seen is like half the members, they're still running their businesses, but they've kind of de facto started new businesses as we've all had to pivot to handle the new COVID economy. It's been really interesting to see the members of the roundtable find either a new direction to provide their own service or just go into a completely new direction. And also seeing the members of the roundtable coach each other through that transition. A lot of basic things like going virtual or going to delivery, like a non brick and mortar approach. We've handled kind of in the early meetings right after COVID, and now we've started going into deeper topics as far as like how to take advantage of the current media environment, how to make sure that you're creating messages that resonate with customers at this time to provide more value than just your service, and really being an asset for the community. So as Cheryl mentioned, each one of our sessions is based on what the membership of the roundtable needs, and so it's always a little different.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that you mentioned, to find more value for your customers that may not be part of your core competency or your core business, but people have done that, and they've really been remarkable. Those that have been able to capture that, and of course you mentioned, in their new digital footprint. So Cheryl, back to you. So you had mentioned a whole list of different things that you guys talk about at the Entrepreneurs Roundtable. Right now, if you were to say, what is the one single most important thing for an entrepreneur to focus on, especially during this new changing environment, what would you say that would be?
From my perspective, I think it's connecting with your customers and staying connected to them, not necessarily trying to sell them, but being there for them as a trusted advisor and support, and fellow business owner to help them get through these challenging times, uncharted waters that all of us are facing, and just is staying connected and being there to support each other. I think prior to COVID, the benefit of the Entrepreneur Roundtable, in my view, is that it can be very lonely running a business, and so this gives you a group advisory committee, a mastermind group, really, to help you bounce ideas off of and have honest discussions about some of the challenges that you're facing. And it's just been such a tremendous asset to everybody in the group to have that, and the bonds that we've built over the course of time with each other, makes us all a strong unit together. And I think that's the power of the roundtable, quite honestly.
If I could piggyback on what Cheryl's saying, actually, about seeing what each other is going through, that was one of the most unexpected kind of gems that I personally, and as a moderator with the group, have seen, is that when you're an entrepreneur, you think that your challenge is you, kind of like this idea that Cheryl's talking about, like alone in the wilderness, figuring stuff out, completely isolated. And it's incredible how common some of the experiences are you think you're having alone. So in terms of work-life balance, even mental health or emotional problems, financing, seeing your personal and business finances kind of fight, these are common threads that all of the members have had. And knowing that there's someone who's going through the same thing and really gets it is so reassuring, and it allows you to really kind of power through it together or learn what someone else is doing. Even a lot of our best discussions have been almost non-business related. It's really more like an entrepreneur it's about the entrepreneur, not just the business. So that part has been really gratifying to be part of.
Yeah, I love that it's not just a business advisory group, but it's a support group also. And you're so right. That entrepreneur, we always hear there, it's a lonely place to be sometimes. And you're not out there in the wilderness because we have the Entrepreneurs Roundtable. So how does somebody become a member of the Entrepreneurs Roundtable, Eric?
Sure. So membership is, first of all, we should say it's complimentary with your membership within the Morris County Chamber or the EDC. So there's no charge. Our target really is the very early stage business owner. And so we know there's a wealth of excellent coaching and peer board resources for more established businesses that have a bigger budget. The hole that we're trying to cover is that really early, just getting off the ground. I don't even know what to do. We're trying to help those people. And so if you're a member of the chamber, this is a resource that the chamber offers you. It is an application-based group. You do need to apply. And we can, hopefully with this episode, we can package some of that information about how best to apply. You fill out an application about how long you've been in business, how many employees you have, and what your line of business is, as well as some of your challenges. And one of the unique things about the group, to make sure it's a safe and kind of open sharing environment, there's exclusivity for each industry. So you won't have a competitor in the room with you, which will help you be more open to talking about what you're doing, what you've tried, and what hasn't worked. So as those applications, as they come in, we review them, and then we build boards to start each year in kind of a class. And then you build those bonds with your board members, and you keep the makeup of the board consistent throughout the year.
Great. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Cheryl. And thank you, Ed Ramirez from the Morris County Economic Development Corporation. I'm Mike Stanzillis with the Morris County Chamber of Commerce, and we appreciate you coming to watch all of our shows. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Morris County Chamber of Commerce. Thank you, and get out there and do great work.